Hey YouTube, this is the Robinhood investor. Hope you had a great week of trading. As always, I really appreciate the support. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to learn more about investing, subscribe to this channel. Today I'm going to review the overall market this past week, which includes the US and international markets, different sectors, market movers, and earnings. The market was not too bad this past week, slightly recovering from October's volatility. Let's take a look at the volatility index, the VIX, which is also considered the fear index. So as volatility increases, there's more movement in the market. And as you can see, October has been a very volatile month, but it slightly dipped to 19.55. All right, going back to Robinhood. Take a look at the major indices, starting with SPY, Spider S&P 500, which tracks the largest companies in the US, the top 500 companies. This was up 1.14% this past week, and at one point was up 2.3%. Next is Dow Jones Industrial Average. This was up 1.5%, and at one point was up 2.6 or 2.7%. Next is the Qs, which tracks the NASDAQ 100, which has a lot of technology companies. Past week was up 0.26%, and at one point was up 1.7%. Let's take a look at the international market, starting with the developed markets. So I'm using the Vanguard, the developed market ETF. Past week up 2.21%. And looking at emerging markets, I'm using the Vanguard Emerging Markets ETF. This was up 4.42%. All right, let's take a look at the different sectors. So services, financials, and industrial goods performed the best this past week, while consumer goods, conglomerates, and utilities perform the worst. So typically utilities and consumer staples are less volatile, but also have less upside, versus services and industrials are more cyclical and volatile and have more opportunities for growth. So looking at the top three best performing sectors this past week, up 3.9%, 3.4%, 3.0%, versus the bottom three, 1.2, 1.1, and 0%. So going back to Robinhood, let's take a look at the earnings. Top earnings this past week, starting with Apple. So Apple took about a 6% dip. At one point it was down 7%. Just because, so looking at the earnings, actual EPS was $2.91 versus expected $2.78, so it beat expectations. But in terms of their future guidance, it's slowing down a bit. They're focusing more on services rather than iPhones, which accounts for about 60% of their revenue. So they're forecasting probably slower hardware growth and focusing more on the software and services end. Next is Berkshire Hathaway, ticker symbol BRK. Look at the Class B shares. Past week up 2.62%. And in terms of earnings, I guess it's not shown in Robinhood. Next is Facebook, ticker symbol FB. Past week up 1.04%. actual EPS of $1.76 versus expected $1.47. So it beat expectations. Next is Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA. Past week, up 3.51%. Actual EPS of $1.40 versus expected $1.07. So it beat expectations. Next is ExxonMobil, ticker XOM. Past week, up 4.97%. In terms of earnings, actual EPS of $1.46 versus expected $1.26, so it beat expectations. Next is Shell, ticker symbol RDS. Past week, down 0.13%. Let's see if Class B shows the earnings. No, so it doesn't show the earnings on Robinhood. Next is Pfizer, ticker symbol PFE. Past week, down 0.12%. Actual EPS of 78 cents versus expected 75 cents, so it beat expectations. Next is Chevron, ticker symbol CVX. Past week, up 2.4%. Actual EPS of $2.33 versus expected $2.08. Next is MasterCard, ticker symbol MA. Past week, down 1.39%. At one point it was down almost 8%. Actual EPS of $1.78 versus expected $1.68, so it beat expectations. Next is Coca-Cola, ticker symbol KO. Past week, up 3.72%. Actual EPS of 58 cents versus expected 55 cents, so it beat expectations. Next is BP, British Petroleum. Past week, down 0.43%. Actual EPS of $1.15 versus expected 80 cents. Next is Dow DuPont, ticker symbol DWDP. Past week, up 9.28%. Actual EPS of 74 cents versus expected 72 cents, so it beat expectations. Next is Amgen, ticker symbol AMGN. Past week, down 1.19%. Actual EPS of $3.69 versus expected $3.45, so it beat expectations. Next is ABBV, AbbVie. Past week, down 2.9%. Actual EPS of $2.14 versus expected $2.01, so it beat expectations. Next is Starbucks, ticker symbol SBUX. Past week, up 9.73%. Actual EPS of 62 cents versus expected 60 cents, so it beat expectations. Next is General Electric, ticker symbol GE. Past week, down 18.8%. Actual EPS of 14 cents versus expected 22 cents, so it did not beat expectations. Next is Anthem, ticker symbol ANTM. Past week, up 0.29%. Actual EPS of $3.81 versus expected $3.70, so it beat expectation. Next is BIDU, ticker symbol BIDU. Past week, up 2.07%. Actual EPS of $2.77 versus expected $2.51. Next is AMT, American Tower, up 0.91% this past week. Actual EPS of $1.85 versus 81 cents expected. Beat expectations. Next is Sony, ticker symbol SNE. Past week, up 1.94%. Actual EPS of $1.19 versus expected 91 cents. Next is Aetna, ticker symbol AET. Past week, up 0.85%. Actual EPS of $2.96 versus expected $2.83, so it beat expectations. Next is ADP, automatic data processing. Past week, up 1.38%. Actual EPS of $1.20 versus expected $1.11, so beat expectations. Next is Kraft Heinz, ticker symbol KHC. Past week, down 7.94%. Actual EPS of 78 cents versus expected 81 cents, so it missed expectations. Next is Mondelez, MDLZ. Past week, up 3.86%. Actual EPS of 62 cents versus expected 61 cents. Next is Duke Energy, ticker symbol DUK. Past week, up 0.62%. Actual EPS of $1.65 versus expected $1.52, so it beat expectations. Last but not least, T-Mobile, ticker symbol TMUS. Past week, up 3.58%. Actual EPS of 93 cents versus expected 85 cents, so it beat expectations. Overall, the companies I just reviewed, most of them beat expectations. So overall, strong quarter, I feel like. Next, I'm going to go over the top gainers. First one being, Red Hat, ticker symbol RHT. Past month, up 33%. At one point, I believe it was up like 40% or so because of recent news of acquisition, IBM acquiring Red Hat. So this synergy will definitely improve IBM's position in the cloud space against Microsoft and Amazon. Next is Under Armour, ticker symbol UAA. Past week, up 30.09%. Next is VeriSign, ticker symbol VRSN. Past week, up 16.67%. Next is NXP. Past week, up 13.94%. Next is Splunk. Past week, up 11.52%. Next is AMD. Past week, up 11.75%. Next is Estee Lauder, ticker symbol EL. Past week, up 13.05%. Next is Micron, ticker symbol MU. Past week, up 11.59%. Last but not least, Yum China, ticker symbol YUMC. Past week, up 12.23%. So that's all for this video. How was your portfolio this past week? Comment down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to learn more about investing, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.